Fresh tires on the DR650. Let's talk and ride. Hello, D-Rock here. Welcome to the channel. I hope you all are well. That's right, I have finally got fresh tires on my Suzuki DR650. I was running Tusk D Sports and I just pulled them off and I decided to go with something I've never used before and I wanted to see how it would be with longevity. So with the Tusk D Sports, I just put up a video. I got 4,600 miles out of them. They get pretty, well, at least the front tire got pretty ugly up to that mileage, but hopefully what I have on now will last up to 6,000 miles, maybe farther. Who knows? I don't know. I've never used them before. Anyway, what I have are Motoz's. So I bit the bullet, spent the money. They are significantly more expensive than Tusk D Sports. Probably about double the price. As a matter of fact, I can tell you exactly what I paid for them. I bought the set from Procycle for a total of, let's see, $300. $299.95. Yeah, that's a chunk of change, really. But hopefully it will be worth it. Sorry, it's early morning, sun's just come up, so the lighting's not so hot. I apologize about that, but it's still really hot, and this is the only time I can get out and do a ride and be fairly comfortable. So here's the front tire. Now these are the Tractionators. Now Motoz makes a couple different, well, a few different types of Tractionators. The Motoz. There's the Rally Z, the HT, the Adventure, the Dual Venture, and I think there might be one more. I'm not so sure. Anyway, what I did is Procycle offered a set. So the front tire is the Motoz Tractionator Dual Venture, and my rear is going to be also the Motoz Tractionator Adventure. I don't know if the camera's picking that name up up. So kind of two different tires on the bike. On the front, the Dual Venture, and then on the back, the Adventure. So let's have a look at the tread pattern and we'll go from there. So just to give you an idea of the different tread pattern on the Dual Venture tire from Motoz, what I have next to it right here is the Tusk D Sport. This is a brand new set that I have for my CRF 300L. And you can see there's a significant difference in the pattern there. So I wouldn't say that the D Sport is any more aggressive than the Dual Venture, to be honest with you. It's just a different pattern there. So with the Dual Venture, it's like straight across horizontally, you know, whereas on the Tusk D Sport, there's a little variation when you go horizontal with it. So we'll take a really close look up here at the tread pattern on the Dual Venture. Pretty chunky. I'm anticipating it to be somewhat loud, but maybe I'll be wrong. I know the Tusk D Sports are loud, like on the highway up at higher speeds. So, and as far as the size, the front tire here is going to be a 90-90-21. All right, let's look at the tread pattern on the rear tire. So, once again, I'd say fairly aggressive. But I don't think it's quite as knobby as the Dual Sport, and I'll put that up against this in just a second. We'll get a good look here. Yeah, I'm wondering if these are going to be quite as loud. Now the size on the rear for the DR650, I've got a 130 80-17. And beside the Adventure here is the Tusk D Sport, so you can get an idea of the different tread patterns with the two tires. This is a new Tusk D Sport here. Yeah, I think the rear tire is a little more aggressive as far as knobby for the Tusk D Sport, whereas the Adventure Tractionator isn't so much. And I guess that makes sense. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to be on the ride. All right, well, I think that's enough of a visual inspection of the tires. Let's go ahead and suit up and go for a ride and see how they do. As far as airing up, I've got the front tire around 23, 24. I've got the rear tire around between 23 and 25, something like that as far as airing up. I'm going to do a little bit of asphalt and a little bit of dirt. Nothing crazy, nothing technical on the dirt, just, you know, typical gravel road. So that's what we're looking at on this ride. All right. Ooh. Well, the DR's a little taller now until these knobs wear down a little bit. I am on my tippy toes. Wow. So I'm going to do a little loop just to get just to kind of break the tires in. It's about a 50-mile loop. This will take me on some highway, some scenic back way, so I'll have different speeds, 35, 45 miles an hour. Then I'll get on the dirt for a stretch, and it's just going to be a typical dirt road. Hard packed, light gravel, so nothing special there. But I imagine the tires will be a little squirrely. I got them kind of aired up a little bit, and then after the dirt I'll hit the highway back, but I'll go up to 65, 70 miles an hour just to see how they feel, see how loud they are, and that'll be that. So kind of a quick video, but I never really, it's like trying to do a tire review is kind of difficult. I'm like, how exactly do I express that? So some people do it better than others, and I think some people could probably do it better than me. So please bear with me, and I'll just, you know, this is just kind of isn't a long-term review. It's just an immediate review of the tires and see how they'll do for what I intend to really ride them on. So there you have it. Let's see, there's no one behind me right now. I'm about 45 miles an hour. Let's do a hard stop and see what happens. Oh, you hear that? They gripped good enough. They didn't like slip out or slide or anything. I mean, they're brand new, so I do a lot of that actually when I'm out on these back roads and I've got kind of the road to myself. I'll do 65, 70 miles an hour, and I'll slam on the brakes just to continually practice my oh crap braking, if you know what I mean. So they did, they seemed to do okay on that one. So what I did is I just, I pulled the tires off myself front and back, and then took it to Rocky Mountain, and they mounted the tires on the rims for me, so I didn't have to do that. But from what I understand, the sidewalls on these are pretty stiff, but I don't think they're as bad as the Tusk D Sports. So if I have to change out a tire, you know, to fix a flat, say out in the wild, out in the desert, on the road or whatnot, getting the tires on and off the rim, from what I understand, aren't going to be as bad as, say, the Tusk D Sport. So that's cool. I can dig that. And it was my first time putting the rear tire back on, you know, dealing with the chain and everything and adjusting the chain and all that stuff. And it wasn't that bad, really. So I've literally like I'm almost to the point of like pulling this whole bike apart now and putting it back together. I haven't done the carb yet, but you know, cables and moving wires and pulling things off the frame and the tires and everything. So I'm really getting personal with this DR650, which is good because I'm about to take this thing on a pretty long road trip, and that's what you want. You really want to know your bike. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're gonna get up to 50 miles an hour and see how loud the tires are. They are surprisingly quiet. I'm gonna take it easy on the turns. I know the tires feel a little slick still. Yeah, but at 50 miles an hour, let's go maybe 55. They are not very loud. So at this point I'm between 45, 50 miles an hour, and the vibration's not bad. Kind of, I guess, normal. I do have weights on the end of the handlebars here. I didn't know if there'd be a difference in vibration versus the Motoz here, the Dual Venture and Adventure versus the Tusk D Sports, and I don't know, the vibration is not noticeably different in any way at 45, 50 miles an hour, so can't really say about that. So I've been consistently around 50 miles an hour, and it's weird because the tires are actually really quiet at this speed. I hear the motorcycle over the tires now. With the D Sports, you'd hear them howling over the motorcycle, so it's a little strange to hear the motorcycle so much more over the tires now. I don't know, that's the big difference I'm noticing right now at this speed. All right, here we go, dirt. I'm expecting to be a little squirrely. Like I mentioned, it's what I'm going to be riding here is just hard-packed, lightly gravel road. Might get a little thicker on the gravel further down we get, but thus far, pretty stable. Like, I'm not slipping and sliding, but there's not a lot of gravel. It's really light at this point, so I need to get in something a little deeper to really know. But I mean, it all gets a little squirrely in that with my experience on the tires I've owned and ridden, which were the Tusk D Sports, the Kinda 270s, and the Dunlop D606s. Squirrely at the turn there. Wasn't too bad. I mean, they're grippy. There's no doubt about that. They dug right on in. Washboardy, sandy gravel. They seem pretty stable. There we go, some deeper sand here. Oh yeah, man, they push right on through it. That's good. Alright, here's a section with some deeper sand. We'll see how she goes in this stuff. Not bad, a little squirrely. Slightly squirrely, not much, surprisingly. There's another section here, deep sand. To be honest with you, there's a little bit of slippage there. I think the D Sports were squirrelier in that stuff than what I got on right now. Handled that sand just fine. All right, well, I've had her up to 40, 50 miles an hour on the gravel here. And like I mentioned, this is hard-packed light gravel, and she's very stable. Very stable. I would say more stable than with the D Sports. I mean, that's how I feel anyway. That's how it feels to me. Hitting the brakes, she did really well. Both times I did it at, I think, speeds of between 30 and then up to 45 miles an hour. Just fine on the gravel. I'm really impressed, to be honest with you. She didn't seem to fishtail out as bad as with the D Sports, so I feel pretty good about emergency braking with these tires. Okay, let's go ahead and get on the highway and see how she does. Looking good.
and get up to 65. All right, at 65, remarkably quiet. Extremely quiet compared to the Tusk D Sports and the D650s. Okay, I'm right at 70 miles an hour. I gotta drop down to 55 here, but extremely quiet tires. So I can still hear the tire, of course, but it is night and day compared to the Tusk D Sport as far as being loud. It's rather quiet. That's pretty good. I like that. As far as rideability at these speeds, 65, 70 miles an hour, I mean, it's a smooth ride. It's just fine. I don't know how else to describe it, but is it smoother than the D Sports? Maybe. I didn't mind the D Sports. I mean, they were pretty knobby on higher speeds on the asphalt like this, but this isn't bad at all. I'm pretty comfortable. Well, I just spent the last 15 minutes or so at speeds between 65, 70 miles an hour. Very smooth riding, very quiet. Well, quiet compared to the D Sports, I should say, and stable. I think these tires are great. So I'll be doing long distances on the asphalt on the DR650, and I think these tires are going to be great, and also dirt riding as well. So I needed something that could kind of work for both things, and I think this set's going to work out pretty good for me. I mean, that's to be determined, but this is just the initial ride and review of the tires, so I can't say for certain, but what I'm feeling right now is that they're going to work out great for me.
Yeah, these tires are pretty dope. I think they're going to work out just fine. All right, so that was about 45 miles, and hopefully I've got the slickness off the tire, kind of warm in a little bit. That's how they're looking now. My initial impressions with the set here, which is on the front the Dual Venture and on the rear the Adventure of the Motoz Tractionator, is that I'm going to be very happy with them. I was impressed with their performance on the asphalt, especially how quiet they were and how smooth riding. And I was also impressed on the gravel as well. I wasn't in deep gravel. I was just hard packed light gravel, typical dirt road, and the bike was extremely stable. And also with the emergency braking, both on the asphalt and in the gravel, I think the tires did very well as far as sticking. I didn't experience the typical fishtail sliding out that I usually do with the D Sports when I practice. So overall, I think I'm going to be extremely happy with this set of tires. And I'm hoping that as far as longevity goes, I get double the range I did with these over the D Sports. That's why I went ahead and spent the extra money on these, the Motoz. So I'm hoping that I'll get above 6,000 miles on the front, and I don't know, maybe it'll go farther. Well, I don't know. So maybe I'll touch back on these tires again at the 3,000 mile mark and see how they're looking. So yeah, initial first ride and impressions about the set here, the Motoz Tractionator Dual Venture front tire and Adventure rear tire for my DR650. Fantastic. I think they're going to be perfect. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. I have lots more content on the way. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It is very helpful for the channel, and it is free. And folks, stay safe out there. We'll see you next time. D-Rock out. Adios.